Hey, coffee cuties, we are back with another banger. So today we are going to be diving deep into the topic of Black women hating their dark skin. So let's just get right into it. So in order to get a real understanding on this topic, I have watched many YouTube videos of Black women discussing them not liking their dark skin and who started to have a secret hatred for their dark skin. I'm going to first lay out the main reasonings that I found and then solutions to overcome some of these. So this topic, in my opinion, can pretty much be broken into 4 subjects or categories. That is the colonized mentality and mindset. That is childhood experiences, society pressures and assumptions, and then, of course, last but not least, men. So let's just start off with the European colonization. Colonization is when one takes control by power over a dependent area or people. This has led into the colonized mentality in Black people. The colonized mentality can be defined as the perception that one's identity is inferior to another. So basically, after European colonization, they were able to divide and rule Black people with a lot of this colonized mentality. The driving force behind colorism is this mentality as well. I have plenty of videos going into depth about colorism, etc., and also all the ism, texturism, featureism, etc. So I'm going to leave those linked down below. But for now, I'm going to say that a solution to overcome this mindset is to be able to define what it means to be Black to us as Black people. We also need to set our own beauty standards, and we need to stop worrying about what someone who doesn't even have our phenotype think about us. Of course, we cannot change our past. We cannot change the history, but we can control our futures moving forward. Ironically, though, I found this to be absolutely crazy. White people taught us that dark skin has some type of negativity towards it, but when they darken their skin, it is viewed as a status symbol. It shows wealth, and it also shows that you are well traveled. So they admire what they cannot naturally achieve, and they try to make us hate what we naturally are. But today is a new day. More beautiful Black women are going to have the microphone, and we are going to change the conversation, change the narratives, etc. But next, we're going to dive deep into childhood experiences, as this is where a lot of hatred towards dark skin has come from. So there's no other way to put it. Children can be very cruel, regardless of how you look, but especially if you are dark skinned. They will say all type of things. I've heard in videos, women were saying that they were called monkeys. They were saying that they were called midnight. They were saying that they were told like they can't play certain games like hide and seek because they couldn't be found, etc. And then there's, of course, this narrative of you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl if you are beautiful and deemed beautiful, as our beauty is often defined even when it is obvious. Again, that is a quote from another video from a subscriber. So I actually have a full video on you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl, so be sure to check that out. But they also have the flip side of you're ugly for a light-skinned girl, basically implying that you're expected to be beautiful if you're a light-skinned and you're expected to be ugly if you're dark-skinned. And if you don't fit this narrative, you are called out about it, basically. So people are basically assuming that beauty does not come in dark skin, and that cannot be furthest from the truth. There's also just the narrative of you're ugly because you're dark skinned. That is another thing that a lot of kids say. So oftentimes kids are simply projecting their own insecurities onto you that they may feel themselves to avoid being bullied and teased themselves. This is where I feel like parenting really comes in. If you have young children still, you definitely have to teach them how to love their dark skin early. You definitely have to teach them realities of the world, teach them things such as insecurity so that they can understand that a lot of these people are just simply insecure. Like I said before, they're simply trying to protect themselves from the bullying, etc. So if you teach children to understand this, that will definitely change their perception when it comes to their skin and their overall reality. Now, I do understand that some of us are already into adulthood, so the parenting phase is already past us. process, that's when I would recommend going to things like therapy so you can really break down some of these childhood experiences, heal from within, and just move forward from there. And then lastly, I want to add to think about some of your biggest bullies throughout your childhood. I could just think of several people in my mind. So think also about how they ended up turning out. A lot of these people, unfortunately, are bummy, dusty, balding, overweight, etc. Typically, the people who are the biggest bullies throughout the mean girls, etc., throughout high school, it just often doesn't plan out the way that you would assume that it would. And this is regardless of race, color, etc. But just 9 times out of 10, if you go through your Facebook and you look back at your biggest bullies and what they're doing now, oftentimes they not doing nothing. So that is the revenge of the dark skin baddie. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the next topic, and that is society assumptions, pressures, etc. So, of course, we're going to start with the stereotypes. So, there is 3 categories that the media, etc., tries to paint us as Black women in, and that is the mammy. Basically, you are of service to other people. You put everybody else's needs above your own. You're basically there to be some type of slave or some type of, like, again, servant, etc. Mammy is often portrayed as like the older Black quote unquote mom who kept everything in check in order to basically fulfill the needs of the white man. Next, you have the Jezebel over sexualizing us, basically assuming that we're promiscuous, etc. And then the sapphire stereotype, which is you're loud, you're aggressive, you're overbearing, etc. Because these societal stereotypes and assumptions, we are often mistreated as Black women, according to a lot of research that I did, when you are engaging with the public, engaging with society, etc. Also, there is a thing such as the European beauty standard. And of course, if you have beautiful melanin, beautiful dark skin, you are basically the total opposite of what white people try to push on us and make us feel is the beauty standard, which we know now is false. Also, just we basically have to represent ourselves, represent our own beauty, our own phenotype. We definitely need to uplift ourselves in order to combat a lot of this societal assumptions about us. We need to change our overall collective image. And that starts with self. That starts with then finding community of other beautiful women who are moving forward, changing the future, basically not being victimized by any of the things that white people try to make us feel bad about. They often talk down about things that they cannot mimic. And as we know, our beauty is not mimicked and we look the best with bare minimum effort, etc. But I also want to get into something else that is also occurring, and that is the push for skin bleaching. I saw a quote on another content creator's page, and they basically stated that skin bleaching is the chemical solution of colorism. And I thought that that statement was very powerful and true. So skin bleaching is very popular in African countries, and a lot of those countries are known to have dark skin, but there is a propaganda towards Americans and trying to say that now Americans are attempting to skin bleach, or secretly wanting to skin bleach or wanting to be light skinned, etc. This again is propaganda. This is false propaganda, as there are many dark skinned women that love their skin, etc. And even the ones who are struggling with insecurities, this is typically not something that dark-skinned people do as a collective, etc. I once again, if that is something that you're thinking about, I want you to just understand that there are alternative measures that I'm going to give in a second to really heal from within. And I also want to leave, like I always do in every video, have you understand the dangers of chemical solutions such as skin bleaching. This can lead to cancer, this can lead to liver dysfunction, etc. So I really want us coffee cuties to really take the time to think about if that is something that we need to do, if we want to do, etc. But in conclusion, before we get to our final thoughts, I also want to add in men. So I pretty much talk about that I feel like the male gaze is the driving force to a lot of things such as colorism throughout a lot of videos that I discuss. I just want to briefly touch on the fact that Of course, in society, we have been taught that we must be chosen by a man, etc. And if we're not chosen by a man, we're somehow a failure, etc. Women use these talking points against each other. Men use these talking points against women. It is just absolutely ridiculous. But as I state in many other videos, the majority of these relationships are flat out dusty. They're going 50-50. A lot of these marriages are ending, 50% divorce rate. A lot of people are unhappy, etc. So I just want to challenge you to, instead of putting men on a pedestal, put yourself on that pedestal, set your own beauty standards, regardless of what anybody got to say, whether that's a white man, black man, whether that's society, etc. We can change the narrative when it comes to ourselves as black women, and it simply starts with us changing our mindset. But in conclusion, I want to challenge this narrative that you must change yourself externally in order to have some type of confidence. And external changes, I mean like skin bleaching, etc. Instead, I want to inspire and encourage people to change themselves internally in order to heal and gain that confidence that they are seeking. Some ways to heal yourself internally, like I stated before, is going to therapy, of course, so you can find some healthy coping mechanism to some of the insecurities and hatreds, etc., that you may be experiencing, and also to get to the root cause of a lot of these things. Some other powerful tools will be affirmations. Affirmations is a very, very powerful tool to basically reprogram your subconscious mind, because as we know, your thoughts create your reality. So really having a healthy mindset is crucial in order to change your ideals and perception about beauty, change your relationship when it comes to your skin, when it comes to your natural beauty, etc. Another great tool is journaling in order to get all of your thoughts and all your opinions and perspectives out in a judgment-free zone. Also, you need to find confident women with your phenotype. That can be Instagram models, that can be women in your real life, etc. You need to find confident women that look like you, that are still achieving the goals that they want to achieve, living successful lives, getting married if that's what they choose to do, having children if that's what they decide to do, having positive careers, etc. Because we live in the world of social media can be used in a harmful way, a toxic way, or it can be used in an uplifting way. So I encourage you to change the way that you're using social media if you are suffering with some of these things, by finding like-minded individuals and phenotype representation. Also, this brings me to another point of finding communities that uplift and encourage versus tear down. It is crucial to filter out what you are listening to online. There is a lot of rage baiting going on, a lot of propaganda, false propaganda, etc. So you definitely have to filter what you take in, because those things can really creep into your subconscious mind and again create your thoughts, and then your thoughts create your reality. But let me know what you think. Is there a section of basically this conversation that I left out when it comes to Black women and their skin? And if you are a dark-skinned, beautiful woman, what did you have to go through in order to gain the confidence in a society that is filled with European beauty standards? What are some tips and tricks that you can tell other coffee cuties in order for us all to just really love ourselves from the inside out, embrace our beauty, etc.? We literally are the blueprint. We cannot be mimicked. Everything else is just a carbon copy of us. I really want us to truly get that through our heads. That can be one of your affirmations, is we are the blueprint and everyone else is a carbon copy of us. You can also say that our beauty is so unique and powerful that it cannot be mimicked or duplicated. But be sure to like this video. Be sure to check out my full playlist on dark skin, such as You're Pretty for a Dark Skin Girl, Dark Skin Privilege, and so many more videos are on the way. So be sure to subscribe. Also comment down below. Be sure to tell a friend, because as you know, we are the Shadow Band crew. But that doesn't matter, because we are going to push forward and the message will be heard. But until next time, see ya.